Hi, I'm Gerald Brown. I grew up in Southern California, but I currently live in Tucson, Arizona. I am black and deaf. My first language is American Sign Language, but I'm also fluent in English. I can use home sign and gestures. I'm the only deaf person in an all-hearing family, but my family knows some sign language. They don't sign fluently, but they are able to communicate with me. I was mainstreamed. I never went to a school for the deaf. I started out with oral education, and then I went through ASL education in public schools. I went off to college, and I had an interpreter in college. I got a basketball scholarship in California. I moved to Phoenix to play college ball here. I got another scholarship. And then I went down to Tucson, where I played there with another scholarship that I got. I then went to Gallaudet University and came back to Phoenix. I went into the coaching career, and I worked for Boeing for 7 years, making aircraft for the military. I moved back to Tucson, and I then became a coach for the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind. I'm going to tell two personal stories. I have a story from when I was younger and a story from when I was an adult. When I was younger, I had a lot of communication barriers. My family all could hear. When I would ask them why they were laughing, I was always the last person to be in on the joke. That was a real struggle for me growing up. I played basketball in high school, and I didn't have a sign language interpreter, so I had to read the lips of my classmates and remember and memorize all the different plays that we had. And that led to some aggravation on the part of my coach, and we had some communication barriers. It wasn't until my junior and senior years that I had an interpreter, and I finally had effective communication. I played more. I was recognized as a leader by my teammates. I was MVP. I was recognized by colleges. And looking back, had it not been for the sign language interpreters that I had, the college scouts would never have learned about me as a player. So I have to thank the school for providing me with effective communication through an interpreter. Now, as an adult, I got really sick with lupus. And my performance and really my life changed. I started to really struggle with my health. And I experienced kidney failure, which really led to my health being even more poor. I was in poor health. At the time I was a coach, and I wasn't able to teach. I had to let my assistant coach run all the practices. It wasn't until I had a kidney replacement that I was finally able to work with my players, teach my players, and spend time with my family. I've been traveling, and I wasn't able to travel while I was sick. So those are my two personal stories. I have 4 role models who I've always looked up to. 2 are comedians, Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. I like them because they always make people laugh, and they are so good on the fly. And I like to use some of their tricks when I'm talking to some deaf friends to make them laugh and to make them happy. Anytime I have a friend who's feeling down, I like to make them laugh so they forget about their problems. So those are 2 comedians who I've really looked up to. I know that everything in life is going to be okay. I've always looked up to Bob Marley as well. I know that he was a big supporter of equality and focused on love and avoiding war. So it really made me think about the things that he said, and he always says that everything is going to be okay. And so I know that anytime I have a friend who's going through some struggles, I always tell them that everything will be okay. You got to just keep on going and don't give up. The last role model that I have, who I've looked up to, is all the different coaches that I've worked with and who have coached me. From high school to college to the deaf clubs, I see the coaches show up on time, they listen to the players, they follow instructions, they know how to network and how to work with other coaches. And I have taken all of their examples, and that has led me to be the best coach that I can be for the youth. Maybe the youth that I'm working with now will be coaches someday, or they'll be mentors, but my goal is to empower them so they can behave well on and off the court. And that's why I've run the basketball camp that I have for 17 years, and that really is my passion. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my basketball camp. It's the Southwest Deaf Basketball Club. We were formerly known as Arizona Desert Fire Basketball Camp, and now we are SCWOC. Both programs are similar, and it was founded by me and another individual named David Hamilton, who is also black and deaf from Kentucky. He works at the California School for the Deaf, Fremont. We got together and we brainstormed some ideas about how we can invest in our youth to ensure that they're better basketball players. We started our basketball camp with just 8 kids. We started out really small, and with time we got sponsorships, we networked, and we worked really hard, and we increased our participation every year. In 1999, we hosted our camp at Grand Canyon University, and we had 99 campers. That was a new record for us. And our numbers ebbed and flowed after that. We had between 60 and 70 campers. Last year, we hosted our camp in Tucson at the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind, and we had 60 players. Growing up, I always went to basketball camps where everyone could hear, and there was no sign language interpreter for me. So I missed out on the message and all of the important information that was given to the players. And the co-founder of the camp experienced the exact same thing. So we wanted to make sure that we had a camp in place with great coaches from around the country. We get coaches who volunteer their time, and they come to Arizona to work with us on the camp. The camp has been running for 17 years now, and we've hosted it not only in Tucson, but we've also hosted it in Southern California, Northern California, Maryland. We like to make sure that we travel around the country with the camp. And not only that, but we also went to Jamaica with our camp. And this summer will be our 4th camp in Jamaica. We have a basketball camp for the students, and we also have a camp for different sports the students want to play in. Because Jamaica is a third world country, we want to make sure that we have all these different sports available for the students. So we have soccer, for example, that's really popular in Jamaica. And it really is just an amazing experience. The students use a different sign language than I use. We learn a lot from each other. In the US, we have a lot of great technology available to us, but in Jamaica, they don't have access to the technologies that we do, and they're perfectly okay with that. They're fine with that. So we definitely learn from each other, and it's a trade-off it's a trade that we make. We're having it again this summer. If you're interested in joining us, look up swdoc.org or go to Arizona Desert storm.com, and we have the information available there. It'll be June 24th through 28th in Tucson, and it'll be at ASDB. If you have any questions or want some more information, you can email me. My words of advice to everyone out there is be patient, be open-minded, and be willing to listen.
Wow.
Keep trying, and you will reach your goal. You will be successful. If you don't have that patience, you won't see your rewards. But if you move forward with patience, you will get your reward, and that's my advice.